Hello and welcome to my review of 2021. Can't believe New Year's Eve now, the end of the year. Uh, for many people, it's been another trying and testing and difficult year to do with the COVID-19 pandemic and with all the new variations that have come out over the last year between Delta and Omicron and all these other ones. Isolation has been quite difficult. Although this year I've been able to get out and about a bit more, which made a massive difference in my life. But at the same time, it might be just once a week or something like that, going to work or doing essential shopping or just to get out for mental health reasons, just to clear the mind. But, still a long way to go yet and still protecting. But, many deaf and disabled people have been going through this as well. Um, but ironically, it's been one of my busiest years yet, because even though I've been indoors pretty much, I would say, 90% of the year, I've actually been one of my busiest years because I've been doing a lot of work online through Zoom and Microsoft Teams and various sort of video conference services such as that there. I've been heavily involved with the disability strategy for Northern Ireland co-design group, so I've been meeting every 2 weeks and sometimes maybe twice a week or whatever, trying to develop a strategy so that deaf and disabled people needs will be met and understood by local and wider government within the country. So very important work that we're doing now. I'm hoping we're getting now to near the end of it now, but it's been very difficult work, and full was of a lot of other good organisations and particularly disabled persons organisations, like so it's been very important work and we're getting there to the end. I've also been I am involved continuing my role as the vice chairperson of the Fermanagh and Omagh District Council Disability Advisory Group, so we have been meeting quite regularly and getting stuff done. So even though we're not out and about there as much as we used to be, that we're still working very hard, across the country and across the district. So important work to be done there. However, this pandemic has really showed up a lot of the ableism which exists in society that many deaf and disabled people knew was there. All you had to do was scratch the surface and you would see it. But now it's become a lot more visible in our eye and as well to the eyes of non-disabled people. Like one breaking news that came out last week in the Telegraph that was that children with learning difficulties were offered DNRs, which is do not resuscitate. Now, this was a lot of big shock to many people that how could this happen and why should this happen. And but if you had to listen to deaf and disabled people since the very beginning of the pandemic, nearly 2 years ago, we were telling you this was happening, this needed to be stopped. But again, we weren't listened to. And some of the issues that have been coming up with isolation, now, we've been telling you what needs to be done because this is our life before that. So we understand what like, with the health that we have to stay in. And I thought that might happen maybe every couple of years when we wanted to, when my health sort of deteriorate for a little bit of time. But then there's other definitely people out there that, that are maybe in isolation for maybe large portions of the year. But we've been telling you how to deal with it, but again, we've been ignored. So I'm hoping with the disability strategy and the work with the council and stuff like that there, the deaf and disabled people will get our voices heard, will get our voices into where it needs to be. Because for far too long, we've been peripheral what's going on, and non-disabled people have been making decisions on our behalf without consulting us or without finding out what our needs are. So I'm hoping this will be developed further. So anybody that's watching this video, maybe if they're not from the Fermanagh and Omagh district area, even if they're not from the north, whatever, and you don't feel like you've been heard, you have to make yourself heard. Contact the council, contact the local government, contact your MPs, your TDs, your MLAs, your MPS, whatever your representatives are, and make sure you're heard. But it has to be heard. You have to set up forums. So one thing with COVID is deaf and disabled people are now starting to make sure we're being heard. But this can't stop now, because when this pandemic passes, we're not going back to what we used to be. So my lesson from 2020 and 2021 is we're here, we've something to say, we're going to be heard, because at the end of the day, there's nothing about us without us. On a more personal note, it's been quite an unusual year, and even though it's been quite difficult, I've been quite happy now this time with my health, whether it was up and down. I'm having a lot of issues with my stomach at the moment. It's causing me a lot of pain and anxiety, a lot of chronic pains in my leg and shoulder, which when you're getting down with pain and stuff like that, it does affect your mental health well-being. You know, depression, not depression, but anxiety and your sense of self-worth. But, you know, those days aren't as many as they used to be, so everything is on the up in that department. And top it all off, I've been nominated, I've been shortlisted from, I think it was 50,000 people, down to the final 8 to be the Disabled Role Model of the Year. So there's a big ceremony in the Liverpool Cathedral now in February, so I'll be heading over to that. It was obviously it was to do with COVID restrictions, whether I'll be able to go or not. Because as well as COVID, I have sort of respiratory issues as well, respiratory failure type 2. So between COVID and that there, hopefully I'll get. But my one lesson to take away this year is nothing about us without us. You know, nobody's going to listen to you unless you shout. Do not be afraid to shout. Do not be afraid to demand your rights. And do not be afraid to put your foot down, because we're here. We're going to be listened to. In 2022, it's going to be your year. So, watch out, government. We're coming. Happy New Year.